I watched the Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary. Now, I'll be honest with you, before I watched it, I was not a fan of theirs. But now I've actually heard their side of the story, I fucking hate them. They started off and they're making interesting points about racism and misogyny. Then they start calling each other H and M, and I just thought, oh, do fuck off. By the time Harry starts describing this one date with Meghan as the night, let me quote you here, me and M pulled the pin on a fun grenade. I actually started rooting for Prince Andrew. If you haven't seen the documentary, lucky you. Ginger Royal meets fit American actress. She then discovers that everything is so unfair. He then discovers that racism is actually a bad thing. And then they moan about everything. Harry says, how do you explain to someone who you've just started dating that they have to curtsy to your own grandmother? And I'm thinking, maybe just tell her that your grandmother is the fucking queen. And you're in the royal family. I don't know how to break this to you, H. But if you weren't in the royal family, M wouldn't be with you. They were complaining that to pay for their own security. They were not happy about that. Yeah, they were very worried about their safety, which I get that aspect of things. After 6 episodes, I wanted to attack them. Something about them. I don't know what it is. I look at them. I genuinely think they are the sort of couple who look at each other when they're having sex. These are sick people.
Still no baby, still no pregnancy. We've actually done the fertility test. I don't know if anyone here has ever done fertility tests. For women, they're quite expensive and invasive, but for dudes, pretty sick. Honestly, probably my favourite ever test. Because our test is we have to jizz in a cup. That's the test. Sorry, I said that wrong. We get to jizz in a cup. It felt like permission, you know? When my doctor was like, can you jizz in this cup? I was like, fucking oath, mate, let's go. Honestly, don't even worry about the Medicare rebate on this one. I'm happy for you to keep 100% of the cum, right? It's all yours. Run the test twice, knock yourself out. But I don't think I've ever seen fertility tests in American films where you take the test at a clinic, open the door, hand it to the nurse, thank you very much. But in Australia, you actually take fertility tests at home. So I was home, and I was just about to take the test, and my wife called me, and she was like, can I be there? And I was like, why? And she's like, because I want to make sure you're doing it right. I was like, I'm doing it right. You know, like I've never been more confident about anything. In fact, sometimes you do it wrong. Like that's how right I do it. I've never studied harder for a test. I take a practice exam every time she goes to Pilates, right? Like I'm gonna nail this fucking test, lock it in.
I just prefer areas where there's fewer guns. I think you get more fun tough guys there. I went to London, England. And in London, they have no guns. And anyone there could be a tough guy. You could get your ass kicked by a guy with an umbrella and a bowler hat. It might happen. I was there with 8 other Americans. We were there for a work trip. And at the end of the week, to celebrate, we went on a pub crawl. And towards the end of the pub crawl, this tiny little, very drunk British guy had latched onto our group. And at first it was fun, but towards the end of the night, it was clear that he wasn't really picking up on any verbal cues, and he wouldn't stop hassling a couple of the women we were with. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go talk to him. I'll let him know his night's over. I'm a big guy. There's 9 of us. I'll handle it. So I walked over to him and I looked down. And I said, hey, buddy, I think you've had enough to drink. I think it might be time for you to go home. And he looked up at me and he said, oi, what's that, Porky? I think it's time for you to kiss my ass. And it hurt, because I'd never been cussed at in that accent before. I was like, oh, that's how Paddington talks. But I collected myself, right? I was like, I don't think you heard me. I said it's time for you to go home. And he said, I don't think you heard me. It's time for you to kiss my ass. And that gave me pause. I was like, why is this guy so confident? I know he doesn't have a gun, but is Harry Potter real? Is magic real? Do they still have swords over here? Maybe I misread the situation. Maybe this guy about to pull a sword on me. I don't have a sword. And I didn't want to fight anyway, so I was like, hey, buddy, we're not looking for trouble. And he cut me off. He said, oh, you found trouble, mate. It sounded so cool. For a second, I was like, oh, someone's gonna get their ass kicked. Oh, no, it's me. I'm the one. And then he said, right, I'll sort out all 9 of you then. And he took his hand and he reached it into the waistband of his pants. And when he did that, my heart caught in my throat. Because I'm an American. When someone does that here, it means they have a gun. And you've misread the situation drastically. And I thought it was very scary. Also, I thought it was a little bit funny. Even in that moment. Because I was like, you're gonna get shot in London? Flying all the way over here? We make the finest artisanal gun violence in the world back home. This is like a French guy trying champagne for the first time in Madison, Wisconsin. What's going on? But I was terrified. And you learn who you are in those moments. And I was not happy to find out who I am, because I looked around at my friends and I swear to God, I thought, boy, I hope he shoots one of them first. That's what I thought, because it's still England. Once he gets one shot off, it's gonna like take him a while to reload. Like... But then, he pulled his hand out of his pants. And he was not holding a gun, but he was holding. And I need you to know that sometimes comedians make stuff up, but this is 100% true. He pulled out a completely full pint of beer. And he'd been moving around. He was active. Not a drop spilled. There's not information I'm not sharing with you, okay? He pulled, maybe his penis is like a monkey tail. He can hold stuff with it. I don't know. But he was holding this beer and he said, shall we? And then he drank the entire thing in one gulp, took the glass and threw it against the wall of the pub, and then started walking towards me and my friends like this. And the 9 of us took off in 9 different directions so fast. It was like he pulled a machine gun. And that's the kind of tough guy we don't have enough of in this country.
Before I had a kid, the majority of my day was spent unsubscribing to emails. That was a big day. That's a lot of work, unsubscribing to an email. You click it. Goes, are you sure you want to unsubscribe? And I'm like, yes. Well, do you want to manage your preferences? I guess so. Well, you got to log in. Well, I forgot my password. Well, you got to reset your password. All right. We've sent you an email. That's the opposite of what I wanted to happen. You open the email, they're like, here's a verification code. I'm like, what do I do with that? They're like, take it outside. What? Take it outside. There's a man in a robe with a beard. Tell him the verification code and he will give you the sword of destiny. Take the sword of destiny to the tallest mountain and slay the troll. And the blood of the troll will seep down the hilt. Stand on the summit and scream your verification code into the air. And an angel will descend from a cloud. His name is Alessandro. He will wrap his wings around you and he will hold you close close and kiss you passionately and say, "Are you sure you want to unsubscribe?" You'd be like, "Alessandro, I don't know how you got my email in the first place." I used to be the guy who opened every email. You know, there's two kinds of people. People with a clean inbox and people with that little red square with 7,000 unread emails. I used to be the first guy because I'd open every email. I'd enjoy every email because every email had a bit of personality. Like if you got a free trial for a streaming service, I like that email because it's a very seductive email. They write it to be sexy, don't they? They're like, "Hey, big guy, do you want a free trial for a streaming service?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'd love a free trial. What's your credit card?" "I thought you said it was free." "I just want to look at it." Send me a photo. Seductive email. I really like a security alert email. Those are so funny, aren't they? They're so neurotic. You know when you log into an account from a different browser and this security alert email screams into your inbox in such a panic like, "Oh my God! What's wrong? Someone just logged into your account!" "Oh my God, from where?" "From your house!" "I'm in my house." "Are they still there?" "No, it's just me." "They used your laptop." "I'm on my laptop." "And your password?" "I'm pretty sure it's me." "Are you sure?" "I'm sure. Here are 9 photos. Tell me which ones are traffic lights."
The whole thing of worrying about looks for women is getting worse, and I hate it because it's not a personality trait. And I was a really ugly child, so I know how horrible people are to you when you're not cute. I had big, thick milk bottle glasses. I had a mullet, and I had a moustache by the age of 10. Big old moustache. Everyone in school bullied me. "Must ask you a question. Must ask you a question, badger girl." Whenever I cried to Mum about it, she was like, "They're just jealous. They're just jealous, darling. Are you just pulling random parenting advice out of a book?" Jealous of what? Jealous that I look like a Cuban revolutionary at the age of 10? Now, I especially hate when you're a woman going about her day, not even thinking about how you look, and a man feels the need to comment on your beauty. I'm talking about catcalling, but I feel like catcalling isn't that bad in Scotland. I think because Scottish men have an innate sense of Scottish women's tendency towards sudden violence. But I was walking around London recently, during the day, minding my own business. I walked down an alleyway. A man came out of a sexual health clinic straight away. I'm not making eye contact. And I could just sense he was going to say something. He went, "Hey, beautiful, want to suck my dick?" Some of you are baffled by this, but there's definitely women in the audience. Yeah, you've had that happen to you, right? Any women that's had this happen to them will know there's no point getting angry at the man. There's no point saying anything. I was eating some chips at the time he said this, so as soon as he shouted at me, I knew what to do. I started to silently spray the chips I was eating out my mouth, maintaining direct eye contact the entire time. Is this beautiful now? Women in the audience, that's what you have to do. Make your catcaller regret they ever said a word to what is clearly a very disturbed individual. I'll stop at nothing. I've had guys shout at me out of passing cars for a laugh, and then the car will pull up in traffic and I will snort into my hand and drag it down the windscreen. Still want me to cheat up? My boyfriend's always like, "Oh, Fern, you're gonna die in a knife fight with one of these men." Good. Maybe then I'll become the patron saint of catcalling and people will start treating it like an actual problem. I'm just tired of it. And I'm very tired generally. I've been tired for the last 2 years and I don't like complaining to yous about it, because it's unprofessional. So as a life hack now, anytime I'm extremely tired, I'll go, "No, Fern, no. You think you're tired now, but think how tired you'd be if you had a baby!"
My dad was a racing car driver. That's what he wanted to be. That's why his nerves are fucking shot, because he tried to do that. My brother, that's how my brother got into motorsport. My brother, Will, is an IndyCar driver over in America. He actually just won the world championship for IndyCar. How crazy is that? Yeah. Sure. Yeah. He drove so fast in a circle. He won. Like, he had the best fucking circle. I didn't watch, but apparently... I went to my uncle who watches all of it. He's like, it was a good one. Like, he had the best circle on the day. You follow IndyCar? Yeah. So he had the best circle of the year. And they gave him the badge or whatever, the trophy. And so... And that's not funny. That's like, man, you're fucking risking your life to get the best circle. Like, I reckon it's fucking impressive. But he's actually the greatest driver in the history of the entire sport, like statistically. You know? It's like when you play the PlayStation game, man, he's the dude you select. Yeah, I select him and drive repeatedly into the wall. It's to overcome childhood trauma. But, you know, he can die doing his job. You know, I can die as well, but it's an internal... I have died many times on the inside, but he actually dies. And so that makes you, like, Will's very profound, like, he's very philosophical. Like, he said something really profound to me when he won the World Championship. He said, you know what, bro? Everything I've dreamed of having since I was a kid, I have right now. And he goes, you know what? It doesn't make you any happier. He said, in fact, it can make you sadder, because everything we're told in this society that will make you happy doesn't. And when you get it and you realise that, it can make you really depressed. And he looked me right in the eyes as he said this, and I'll never forget it. He goes, you know what success is? Success is being in the moment more often with your friends and family. He said, that's success. And he looked me right in the eyes as he said it. And he just started that Ferrari up. And he flicked me a small diamond, because he has a pouch of diamonds now from the championship. I don't know if that's part of it. And he flicked me a diamond and took off, because I'm not allowed to sit in that particular car. But and he started doing circles, and they were perfect. I was like, fucking, it all makes sense, you know, like.
We had a boy. Since we had him, we started keeping across world affairs, keeping kind of tabs on politics and what's happening in the world, because we want to know what kind of world we've brought our little boy into. And I've looked into some stuff, and listen, I've got to tell you, Putin, not my cup of tea. I do not like that guy's vibe at all. I'm sorry to use this language. I'm going to use the word toxic. No, we've got to call it out, lads, when we see it, actually. And we've got to stop him. We've got to stop Putin. I really believe this. I saw a graphic, right? It showed a map of the UK. Showed that if Putin dropped a bomb on London, that the blast would reach up as far as the Midlands, where we live. And I saw that, and I was like, fuck. We've got to do something. Because I am not taking in Cockney refugees. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. I'm not. I've got a spare room. If a Ukrainian family need it, they can have it. I'm not having some prick from Shoreditch moving in with me. Tell me I'm making coffees wrong. I'm not having it. Grown men skateboarding across the border. No, get off that. Get off. Disembark, for God's sake. I pray it doesn't come to that. Man, I could never be in the army. I'd be bloody rubbish in the army. I couldn't even be in the army reserves. Whatever they do. Army reserves, I think they fight against the smaller nations midweek. I think that's what they do. I think the gaffer comes in, he's like, listen, lads, it's a big one. We've got Afghanistan away on Saturday. I'm going to rest you, lads. I'm going to bring some civil servants in for San Marino on Tuesday. I think that's how it works.
I think a lot of it is society's fault. By the way, can I recommend the next time you're worried about a personal flaw, just blame society. It feels good, because not only do you get to seem like clever and insightful, you also just get away with whatever's wrong with you. I think you'll find it's society's fault my house smells like this. good day. But I do think I have a point, because hyperbole is everywhere now. It's the only language we seem to have. I mean, is Gen Z in? Gen Z? You're pretty young. I'm guessing because the light's in my face and people moisturize. I can't tell. I've looked like this since I was fucking 11. I don't know. You must be Gen Z, right? I've been on TikTok. I've seen what you guys are up to. And I don't like it. There's a comment on TikTok that the Gen Zers, they leave it under videos they like, whatever, a dog opens a jar. And the comment is, I'm throwing up, I'm crying, I'm dead. That's a stock phrase. I'm throwing up, I'm crying, I'm dead. It's not an appropriate response to anything, is it? Apart from Ebola. Fair enough, Ebola. But a dog opening a jar, no. And hyperbole is everywhere now. Like those reviews I mentioned earlier, like movie posters for theatre, musical. The reviews don't even make sense to me on those. I'll be in the London Underground, say, and they got those big posters for the West End shows, and the quotes at the bottom will be like, this show left my sense of place in the universe shattered. And you go, oh my God. You read the next quote and it's like, I was sick into my lap. 5 stars. You're like, what show is this? I must know. And you look up at the title and it's a regional tour of Greece. And you just think, that can't be for that. That's not for that, is it? How could it possibly be? And it's all over comedy as well. There's a figure in comedy who is the worst for what you might call performative hyperbole, and I really hate him a lot. It's the cry laughing emoji. I really hate that guy. You don't need to worry about him. On TikTok, the young people, when something's funny, they use the skull emoji because, as I mentioned, they are dead. But the rest of us old fucks are stuck with the cry-laughing man. You know, with little tears coming out the eyes. And the reason I hate the cry-laughing emoji is because I need him. I need him. If you cover your online video in cry-laughing emojis, people click on it like 1,000 times more. It's depressing, but it's true. And it's all about views. If you have a big enough number of views, TV producers, they're too busy and afraid to try and pick a guy on their own, so they just go, big number, let's have him on, right? That's how it works now. So we need views, so we need the cry-laughing emoji. That's what the business is. It's all just online fucking... It's not like the old days. I know comedians from the 80s and 90s, and it sounds better. Just back then, you go to the terrifying pub, you go into the basement, be quite funny for 20 minutes, an incredibly frightening man would give you an envelope, and you go, here you go, see you next week. And you go, oh, thank you. And you'd open it up, 60 quid in there, go home, buy your flat, right?
And when I grew up in Scarborough, I was always desperate to leave it. And I wanted to move on to bigger and better things. And then as soon as I left, I realised what an incredible town it is. And I was proud of it. And I always wanted to do Scarborough proud. I always thought if I ever make it in this town, when people think Scarborough, they'll think funny, they'll think Paddy Young. It sounds right. Sounds like the way things were going for me until New Year's Eve last year, just as the fireworks were about to go off. Does anyone remember what happened? A walrus, yeah. It was the first time a walrus had ever been seen on the Yorkshire coast. It was incredible. So we all got a bit closer to the walrus, then the walrus got a bit closer to us, and we got a little bit closer. And then the walrus started masturbating. Did you know that walruses masturbated? I didn't, no. No. Little bit defensive, if you ask me. No. Shutting all the tabs in his pocket, oh my fucking God. Shut down the subreddit, boys, he's got us. Well, I didn't know that they masturbated either. I didn't know they masturbated, but they're not normally in Scarborough either, so I don't know if this guy's just a bit of a Jack the Lad, turns up, wanks where he wants, goes home. They cancelled the fireworks, he brought his own, my God. The line from the council was, they stopped the fireworks because they didn't want to cause the walrus any more stress. Now, I'm not an expert on walruses or stress. He looked fairly relaxed to me, He looked like he was about to have the nap of his life. The whole town enjoyed it. It was great. The elderly, the kids, we all learned something. It's a great evening. But in the wake of it, this walrus has become a bit of a viral sensation. People have enjoyed the video across the world. If you Google Scarborough funny, it's not Paddy Young. It's that fat, juicy cock. Lolloping about on our shore. It's so unfair. Like, look, I was a teenage boy in Scarborough. Like, do you realise how many wanks I must have had up there? Like, millions, probably. Never even made it in the Yorkshire Press. He's on the front page of The Guardian. I was keeping that water salty way before he crawled out of there.
So you can't just bash nerds anymore, can you? And it's fine. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a thug. I don't want to. But they've gone from being bashed to being revered in a very short time space. And I just think nerds would do well to remember what the inside of an S-Pen tastes like and adjust their adult behaviour accordingly. And I don't want to come out too hard on nerds either. I don't mind nerds. They're fine. There might be one here. I don't know. Some of them look like us now. But I think it's an equation as old as time itself, though. If you take a nerd and you empower them, you're going to end up with a pervert. But now, thanks to the information superhighway, nerds can just meet other people online and then procreate as a result of that. Nerds, they used to have to build, solve or invent something and use the requisite cash to purchase the love of a woman. Now they just use trickery like the rest of you and meet people online, leaving their spare time free to reenact fictitious battles between witches and dragons and whatever else it is that's now acceptable for modern men to be doing.
Any other breadwinners in? Any breadwinners? No? No one? Just a bunch of you, bunch of bread losers. Great. But everything's now, people talk about the gig economy. It's so weird. My job is, I'm so free, right? Comedy, stand-up comedy is the ultimate 0 hours contract, right? If I want, I'm so free, I'm free as a bird. If I want to stop working, ever, I can just die. Oh, it's extraordinary. I don't want to paint my wife as some sort of grasping, bread-hungry churl. No, far from it. We get on. She's great. We have very different leadership styles, me and my wife. We're both natural leaders. I think that's quite unusual for a couple. We're two leaders. Most couples, a lot of couples, I think, is one leader, one follower. And if you're in a couple now and you're thinking, I wonder which one I am, I've got some bad news. Some couples, presumably, 2 followers, but we don't hear much from them because they don't get out. But a few couples, I think, a small percentage of couples, 2 leaders. Now, I don't like to ask at shows, are there any couples in where it's 2 leaders? Because one time in a gig, at the back of the room, a little voice went, yep. And then there was a pause, and another voice went, no, you're not. And it was... you don't want to do harm, you know. So, but I think me and my wife, it's true. We're 2 leaders. We've got different leadership styles. So I'm more like a loose maverick MacGyver. You know, I'm like a kind of rolling, adaptable kind of a leader, whereas my wife actually gets things done. So it's... We have to separate, we have to divvy up the labour. You know, I'm in charge of mowing the lawn, packing the car, lifting things. And my wife is the architect of all of our futures. Don't look at me like that. I'm good at packing. I pull my weight. It's my I'm so good at packing. It's my dream one day to be going through a supermarket checkout, and when the lady says, do you need any help packing? By the end of the sentence, she realises she's in a bag for life. I just moonwalk. I climb up on the conveyor belt and pretend to moonwalk out, just slowly like that. That would be the plan. The reason I'm giving you this insight into my marital dynamic is to explain why, at the age of 44, my wife is currently trying to organise a grown-up play date for me to go on with another man in order that I make a friend. I want to be absolutely clear about this. I'm not lonely, but I moved to Bristol, I moved to a foreign city at the same time as I became a dad. So I don't get the chance to meet other dads, right? They all socialise during the evening and work during the day. I have to socialise during the day because I work in the evening because of you. And so I don't get to see them. It's just not fair. My wife can walk up to any other mum and go, hey, we should get a coffee. Should we be friends? Suddenly they're friends. Doesn't work like that for men, does it? Not the system at all. No, the system for male friendships is you've got the kids you knew at school, minus one who died, and that's it. And that's how it's always been. That's how it's supposed to be. So we met this guy. We met this one guy. Ollie was his name. We met him at at a toddler rave. That's a thing. 3 hours of banging techno on a Sunday afternoon. Load of haggard parents at the side of a church hall. 100 kids with their tops off, ripped to the tits on fruity pouches. I remember this one specifically because it was, there's always a costume theme, and this particular one was superheroes, right? And there was one particularly attractive younger mum had come dressed as Catwoman, and all of the other mums were like, oh, fuck off. It was just great. We met Ollie. Our kid was playing with his kid, and then eventually we chatted for 5 minutes, and then his kid ran off, Ollie followed him, and that was that. And then ever since then, my wife has been stalking him on Instagram in order to pimp him to me as a potential friend, right? So I'll be washing up, and she'll sidle up to him and be like, have you seen Ollie's into martial arts and board games? And you like board games and talking about martial arts? And suddenly it's put me in the position I'm like a kid on my first day at nursery going, I don't want to go, like that. Because I don't know how to package myself as a potential friend for a grown man. I just don't know how to do it. I've written and then deleted an introductory text to him, God knows how many times. Hello, mate. Hey, friendo. Ew, who am I? Who am I? I don't even talk with the friends in my life that I love. My mate, my best mate, Noel, right? We've known each other since we were 11. We've travelled the world together. I love the bones of him, right? And I will see him for a cheeky pint once in a blue moon. It's a running joke in our household. I'll come home and my wife will go, how's Noel? And I literally won't understand the question. How is he? How is he? How is Noel? He is simply Noel. Immutable, unchanging. He reminds me of me, I remind him of him. That's why we hang out with each other. I can tell you what he thought of the movie The Suicide Squad. Is that what you mean? Is that how he is? And then she'll say something weird like, but hasn't his mum been ill? I don't know. How do you know that? Stop asking my friends questions, you weirdo. Because we don't speak with each other, we just talk at each other. We sit and conversationally groom one another like a pair of orangutans on a log in Borneo, picking fleas out of each other's fleece. Did you like the film? Yeah, yes, I did like it. You were like me. Yes, I am. Yeah. Did you enjoy Black Mirror the other day? Yes, I didn't like it to begin with, but then I did like it by the end. Yes, I'm the same, yeah. And tell me, are you playing that the Red Dead Redemption game on the PlayStation? No, I've had to stop playing that. It's a little bit too immersive. Yes, I'm the same. Talked about this at a show in Bristol. A stranger tweeted me the following day, Stu, hey, really enjoyed the stuff about the grown-up play days. Just so you know, my friend Clive lives in Bristol and he's free during... That's not what this is! This is not some sort of pathetic, platonic pickup line. I'm not coming out here going, hello, men. I am very lonely and I wish to play Settlers of Catan. It's not that.
Spanking, tried spanking, it was not good at that either. Too tentative with the spanking, by all accounts. My wife said that I spanked like I was reassuring a nervous racehorse. We shouldn't have done the spanking. I regret the spanking. We shouldn't have done it. We're too deep into the relationship to be spanking each other. My advice, right? You're going to spank each other. Do it in the first 6 months of getting together. Don't let 10 years of resentment build up before you bring that into the equation. I was spanked with a closed fist one evening. Does that sound right to you? Spanked on the jaw and both eye sockets. I don't think that sounds right to me.
So I woke up in a good mood recently, and I had a message on my Facebook comedy page. It was from a man in Slovakia. The message was simple. It said, "Hey, you suck and you look like a potato." Devastating to find out the real reason my Irish boyfriend's attracted to me. Text my boyfriend, upset, and he went, "The most beautiful potato I've ever seen." Went on for 4 months. He messaged me, he messaged my agent, he messaged a few comedians. The message was always the same. Fern Brady looks like a potato. Every time I told my friends, this is the worst thing. Anytime I told my friends, they all had the same answer. The answer was never, "It's okay, you don't look like a potato." They all said the same thing. Every single one of them went, "Well, I love potatoes." That's how you know body positivity's gone too far. Just lie and say I don't look like a potato in a wig.
I parked my car. I don't know if this is a good indication of what people are like in Preston, but I parked my car outside of the venue, and as I walked into the venue, a man offered me anal sex. So I was late. I was going to say I'll tell you a bit about me, but I think I just have. It's lovely to be here, though. It's a nice temperature in here, isn't it? We'll get warmer as we go on, obviously, the lights and whatnot. I respond in quite a peculiar way to the heat, I think, mostly sort of here. I realised I aimed that just at you guys in the front there, didn't I? Sorry about that. Hey, upstairs can have a go. There you go. Down there gets what I call claggy. Anybody else got a good word for that? Anybody else? Moist. Who said moist? Moist is a good word. What was that one? Sticky. Oh, there was a lady the other day said, "What you've got there is LDF." I said, "What does LDF stand for?" She said, "Long Day Fanny." When I said claggy in Preston, a man said, "Oh no, we call that ready." But what I do when it gets moist and sticky, I just do a plie. I'm not a massive ballet dancer, but if I was a ballet dancer, I would clearly be a massive one. I just do that. You only get a couple of seconds relief because it mostly just slicks back together. I did a show in Edinburgh and a lady at the back of the room shouted out, "You need to use some talc." And I thought, surely that just forms a paste.
But no, because I've started catching the train again. Now, there's this one guy, he's on every train. I don't want to say exactly what this dude looks like, but I describe his appearance as crime adjacent. Everybody got him? You've seen him often chewing, never gum. So this guy is on every train, right? He's on every train, does the same move on every train. When the train gets to a platform, the doors will open, the crime-adjacent guy leans out the doors of the train, looking very intently up and down the platform. I don't know what he's looking for. I've never seen him find it. And then when the doors close, he's like, "Oh, it's the train." He gets back on the train, right? That's what happens for the crime-adjacent guy. Every single platform I've ever seen him at. And I always thought it's because he was looking for a ticket inspector, which I thought was a shit strategy, because if I was a ticket inspector and I saw a crime-adjacent person, that's probably where I'd start inspecting. And I don't even have formal ticket inspector training, which I can only assume is extensive. So that's what I always thought. And then I got COVID last Christmas, like everybody, and I was in one of those in-person PCR testing queues, and there was a crime-adjacent person in front of me in the queue. And he did the exact same move in the COVID queue. We're in the COVID queue. The queue would take a few steps forward. The queue would stop. The crime adjacent guy steps out of the queue, looks up and down the queue, gets back in the queue. And I was like, dude, we don't need a ticket for this. It's like, this isn't American healthcare. It's included, right? Like, it's fine. And that's when I realised that guy's not looking for a ticket inspector. What he's doing is looking for his biological father. That's why he writes his name on the train. Just in case his dad comes looking for him. On the Campbelltown line, right?
Together, guys, we're in very, very divided times, but food, I feel like, is the answer. You know, think about the first wave of immigrants. The Italians, they copped a lot of racial hate, but, you know, they bought pizza, pasta. People sort of accepted them, yeah. Chinese people, sweet and sour pork. Indian people, buttered chicken. Like, all I'm trying to say is stop hating and just wait and see what food transgender people make. Because, no, they haven't had their chance yet to make the food, you know, and like that's the only way I've seen it work in this country. I wish it wasn't like that. Like my granddad came back from World War II, a lot of anti-Japanese hate, you know, but I took him to sushi. It was like, you know what, these guys are all right. I took him to one of those sushi you know, the trains. He was like, we used to have to derail these. Like he was going a bit then. Stop, Granddad, they're trying to resupply. It's not, it's teriyaki. Like it was a... Stop! But you know, I work like in a very progressive space doing stand-up, but I used to work as a labourer on a construction site. Yeah, not as progressive. The amount of like homophobic jokes and sexism and shit that goes into like building a building, like fucking... We shouldn't be in here, you know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you, we need to cancel buildings, because like some of the shit that was said, can you imagine some of the shit that was being said when this was being put up? Can't you lift that, Trevor, you little bitch? Where's your fucking dress? And you're comfortable sitting in this, like, in this environment of hate? Like, my foreman used to walk in and go, morning, ladies, and he'd flick your balls like that. And they built the Gallery of Modern Art. That's a space I worked on, like helping with the flooring of the Gallery of Modern Art. And I've been back since on that same floor during a cabaret festival. And there was all these naked men in body paint standing there with the light shining on them, posing in this performance art piece. But in that same spot, Trevor called me a gay cunt for drinking a Sprite Zero, like in the same... And yeah, I got bullied, okay? I'm one of those guys. I got bullied. I'm one of those guys, you know, I went to the boss. Yeah. I was like, Dad. I said, they're bullying me, Daddy. Fire these motherfuckers. And he did, and I got promoted. It's,
I come from Yorkshire. I come from a little town called Goole. Yeah, if you don't know Goole, it's just a stone's throw away from York if you throw that stone onto a 2-hour train journey. But it's a weird town with weird people. I'll give you some of my favourite examples. So, I was back in Goole recently. I saw a man on a mobility scooter just driving along. A kid threw an egg at him. Then the man stood up off the mobility scooter. He ran after the kid and punched him in the face. Yeah. That made me proud to come from Goole. One of the few towns where you get to see benefit fraud live. I saw a man in Goole. He's walking down the street very confidently wearing 3 bum bags. 3 full bum bags. I can't imagine being in a situation where I filled one bum bag. And I'm not looking down at the rest of my stuff thinking, this is clearly a rucksack situation. No, not this man. He's straight in the bum bag cupboard. He's not stopping till he's finished. Moving house, 60 bum bags wrapped around him. But Gull is dead now. There's nothing going on in the high street. It's basically betting shops, tanning salons, and in one case, a bizarre amalgamation of the two. And my mum and dad, they'll send me little newspaper articles from Gull just to let me know what's going on in the town. Genuine headline, Gull gets new vending machine. That's in the paper, that's news. There's a vending machine in town. The town's rejoicing. There's euphoria all over the place. The most humiliating aspect of that story, that vending machine was opened by the mayor. That is sad for the town. It was someone's job to wrap a big ribbon around a vending machine. He's cut it with a huge pair of scissors. He had his picture taken with the vending machine. One of the weirdest images I've seen in my life. Because you're thinking, what poses are you doing for a vending machine? I reckon you can go stood next to the vending machine. You can maybe lean up against it, keep it casual. Gulltown Mayor went with a third option, which is to attempt to put your arm around it as if it were another person.
You know, people who have very vibrant sex lives have a safe word to stop play. I mean, I don't know why I'm using a sporting analogy. I don't know what goes on there. But they do. I mean, I would have thought a good word to use would be no. Or hey, get out of it. That kind of thing. Surely that would do the job. But they have like all these banana. I mean, banana's probably the worst one you could use, I would say. It's the last thing you want bringing into the bedroom. I just think, like, I do actually have a safe word in my sexual life. I don't do anything kinky. I just find it quite time-consuming. You know, he's there humping away. And I'm thinking, I've got a full Kindle on the bedside table there. So I just whisper the safe word. I just whisper, Captain Tom. Hey, don't stop him. Speeds him up. Yeah? Hey, listen, don't sit there feeling sad because I've mentioned Captain Tom. This is what Captain Tom would have wanted. This is what he wanted. He wanted this, everyone out enjoying themselves. He wanted this and not a spa facility in his horrible daughter's garden. God bless you, Captain Tom. He's up there now, fucking the Queen. And he is. He is, whether you like it or not, that's what's happening. Don't be upset by that. But the Queen, listen, it's till death do us part. She's not up there with Prince Philip. Till death do us part. That's it, you know. It's like when an elderly couple, you know, one of them passes away, the other one passes away. They're reunited now in heaven. No, they're not. They can do what they want up there. It's till death do us part. I hope my grandma is up there sucking off Elvis.
Have you noticed the more genetic problems a dog has, the fancier it is? Like if it's got breathing problems, the owner went to a private school. I think because it's in bad taste to have a Ferrari now, you've just got to be like, yeah, I can afford to keep a Pomeranian bulldog on dialysis, I'm killing it. I got a litter of asthmatic pugs at home, yeah. I got a Labradoodle on enough Prozac to save Anthony Bourdain. Do you think when aliens come and take over, they'll do the same? They'll be like, fuck Chris Hemsworth, I want the guy with the sleep apnea mask. See that guy on the mobility scooter with all the flags of the UN on it? That's mine, Trevor. He's a rescue. I don't even need to pick up his shit because he's got a colostomy bag, so it's a 2-for-1 meal deal.
The last film I watched was one called Uncut Gems. I saw that in the cinemas. Blew my mind, this film. This was amazing. High-octane Adam Sandler movie. I was taken aback by this movie. Beautiful stuff. As soon as the movie ended, I'm like, that's the best movie I've ever seen. I thought that. And then the credits started to roll, and I was sitting next to an old lady, and all she said was, there was a lot of yelling. And normally I wouldn't have said anything, like I let people have their opinions, but the movie, it affected me so much that I had to say something, you know? I turned to her, I was like, I wouldn't have had to if you give me some of your popcorn like I asked. It's me doing the yelling. But I watched that movie Little Women. Watched it on my iPhone. Get those women even littler. It's so small, couldn't believe it. I'm on the iPhone, I'm mucking about on there. I'm always trying to be ahead of the tech game. Do you know what I mean? You have to be one step ahead because you don't know what they're going to do to you. I'm trying to be ahead of big tech. I was like born into the computer era, you know? I thought I'd be always good with computers. Like I thought I could do computers forever. 5 years old, that's the first time I ever went on a computer and I was like, I'm good at this. Like I knew what to do on there. Like I knew which ads not to click on. Like which blokes not to talk to. I was safe on there. I'd Norton antivirus running on full blast. I'm like, I'll never get aged out of this. That was my thought. I'm 27 years old now. Like I've already been aged out. Can't believe it. Nowadays, I log on to Google Chrome. It's saying I got 280 compromised passwords. I'm like, what do you want me to do about it? Like, I'm not about to change 280 passwords. I'd rather just change my life. Like, I'll be someone else, I reckon. They reckon you got to have a unique password for every website. I'm like, I don't even remember my dad's birthday. And that's my password, like...
It's difficult being a teenager, isn't it? It can't be easy, can it? Think of the pressures of being a teenager. There's a lot of worries. Your body's changing, you've got peer pressure, social media, your GCSEs, you've got the stress of worrying about your future and how you're going to do in life. You've got the worry of constructing a series of unusual buildings in the shape of triangles. Well, I know what you're thinking. You think, well, what was that last one there, Paul? That was a bit weird. What are you talking about? Building a load of unusual triangles. That's not something that a teenager would need to be worrying about. Well, try telling that to tragic teen lad, King Tutankhamun. Imagine the stress he was under. He'd have loved to just relax and just concentrate on his Spanish oral. But instead, he was having to worry about the construction of a friggin' Sphinx. He'd have killed for his biggest problem to be, ooh, Charlie Jacobs has called me a slag on TikTok. That would be the least of his worries. You could think about that the next time you see a group of teenagers causing trouble in the park. You could do what I do. You can shout at them, what about King Tutankhamun? You've got it easy compared to King Tutankhamun. He had all the problems you've got, and he also had to deal with the destabilising influence of the cult of Aten. Drumming up civil unrest in the slums of Cairo. You think it's hard doing GCSEs? Try making a marriage work, aged 14, while suffering from rickets, typhoid, and a number of other diseases they haven't even worked out what they are yet. They're still testing the mummy.
I do admire racists in Northern Ireland. It's good to have heroes, no? I just admire people that have tough jobs. That's a tough job. Being a racist in Northern Ireland, it's such a white place that they have nowhere to put their racism. So they saw my slightly tan dad and were like, that'll do, we're in, we're doing it. It's such a white... Northern Ireland is such a white place. And people don't believe me. It fucking is. It's... Just ask Liam Neeson. If you don't remember what I'm talking about, Liam Neeson, on TV, in an interview, decided to tell a little story. He told the story about how his friend had been assaulted by a black man in Northern Ireland. in his very Liam Neeson way, he went, "So I got a bat. And I walked through the streets of Northern Ireland for 2 weeks trying to find some black bastard to beat the shit out of." Liam Neeson tried to find a black guy to beat up for 2 weeks and couldn't. That's incredible. And he just ran out of racism. After 2 weeks, he was like, "They're fine, I guess." Because he had no one to be racist to. And I think that's the solution to racism. Just get rid of them. No, you can't clap that, actually. Please don't.
I said, "Hey, ChatGPT, write me a joke about China," okay? That's what it gave me. "Why did the Chinese man wear a red string around his wrist? So he could find his way back to his noodle shop." Yeah, not cool, bro. All right, that's definitely racist, but I'm not sure why. It sounds like it was written by a guy who wants to be racist about Chinese people, but has none of the details. Yeah, bloody Chinese with their fucking red string in their shops, it's a disgrace! Why can't they all get back in their hot air balloons and fuck off back to Antarctica? I've done no research! Generally gave me that joke, and then just a second later, this paragraph appeared underneath it. It said, "It's important to note that making a joke about an entire country can be considered offensive. It's important to avoid telling jokes which demean a group of people based on their race, ethnicity, or culture." You just did the noodle shop joke! It's there! It's like in the 2 seconds between paragraphs, the chatbot was sent on a sensitivity training course, reflected on its past material, held itself accountable, and pledged to do better in the future. Which is crazy. It means that this chatbot is more emotionally advanced than Ricky Gervais. Isn't that
See if this has happened to anybody else. Whenever I'm on the phone to me mum, it always makes me need a poo. Give us a woo if that's happened to you. If you're good. I've looked into it. It's a closeness issue. It means that me and those people who wooed, we love our mums more than the rest of you lot love yours. I love my mum so much it makes me shit. Try getting that on a balloon on Mother's Day.
The problem with English people is that they think they're factory default. You know what I mean? They're like, there's English, and then everybody else is so weird. That's because you grow up with English people, you don't know anything different, and they're on TV, you just think that's normal. When you've never met English people before, and you meet them for the first time, I'm here to tell you that you guys are fucking freaks. You're spooky, and I'm done pretending I enjoy your company, right? What are you on about ever? And I moved to London at the age of 18 to study classical music at a music college. So I met the Englishest of English people of all time. Like if you cross Benedict Cumberbatch with a crumpet, like that's who I was dealing with. I remember moving over. I was very, very stressed, very upset about moving away from Belfast and moving in with all these English people. I was unpacking in residential halls and my mum was there and she was trying to talk me down from this emotional height. She was like, listen, Vittorio, they're not all bastards. They just talk like that. I was like, no, they're fucking dickheads, man. They think I'm drunk, they think I'm lazy, they think I'm stupid just because of my accent. I'm fucking sick of English people. It's day one in England and I've got them sussed. I'm sick of it. I want to go home. She was like, no, they don't think any of those things. You're being silly. You're just getting stressed about moving away and you're trying to come up with excuses to get away with it. You're stressed about moving away. You're coming up with excuses, right? I was like, oh, fuck's sake. She was like, you've got 6 new flatmates. I'm sure they're lovely. Go into the kitchen, introduce yourself, give them a chance. I was like, okay, I'll give them a chance. Went down to the kitchen, introduced myself, and first person I met was a girl called Eva. And Eva was one of my flatmates in the first year. And she studied at a secondary school called the Purcell School, which is a specialist music secondary school. There's a few of them around the country. And most people that go to specialist music secondary schools end up at music college. So it's not like normal unis, where everyone arrives, you're all strangers, you're just trying to figure out what your friendship group's going to be for the next 3 or 4 years. They arrive in pre-made cliques with the dorkiest in-jokes you've ever heard in your whole life, and you have to just pretend it's cool when you arrive. I walked in, I was like, oh, Eva, what should we do tonight? And she went, I tell you what we should do. we should play this game that we played at the Purcell School. It's a drinking game where you listen to Mozart and you drink every time it changes key. I was like, or we could all jump out the window. Because that sounds equally fun to me. I didn't actually say that. I didn't say anything. I just stood up, left the kitchen, phoned my mum, like, you lied, they're all bastards, actually. She was like, no, you just met a weird one. Go down to the bar. It's the first night of Freshers Week. Give them another chance. Introduce yourself to English people. It's like, okay, I'll give them another chance. Went down to the bar, tried to introduce myself to English people, tried to give them a chance. Walked up to an English guy. I was like, all right, mate, what's the crack? That was a mistake. Because when you say, what's the crack to English people, you guys freak out. You do this double take that's also like something out of the film Predator. I'm like, what's the crack? And they're like, oh my God. Are you Irish? Oh my God. I'm Irish? Because you don't want to say, no, you're not. Because obviously I live in England, and if and when I have kids, they'll probably have English accents. See if they ever come up to me like, oh, Daddy, I'm English. I'll kick them in the face. So I get it. But you keep going through, you find out all these mad English traditions. They're like, oh my God, it's bonfire night. I'm like, what's bonfire night? Because we don't have bonfire night in Belfast. We do. It's just not in November. And it's a different vibe, I think. I think Ross Kemp goes to your one slightly less often. So I was like, what's bonfire night? They're like, oh my God, it's great. We have fireworks. I'm like, why do you have fireworks? So there was this guy, cold guy, and he tried to blow up Parliament. So every year we're like, woohoo! Because we killed him. What? No, listen, no. All I'm saying is I'm from Belfast. If you're putting on celebrations for people trying to blow up London, when's my night? They find out you're from Belfast, they always ask the same question, like, oh my God, you're from Belfast. What is all the fuss about? Fuss is an interesting word to use for civil war. No, what is the difference between Catholics and Protestants? I'm like, Protestants are icebreakers? No. Because they're natural predators. Realistically, it all comes down to transubstantiation. If you don't know what that means, basically means that Catholics genuinely believe that the bread and wine turns into the body and blood of Jesus Christ. And Protestants genuinely believe that Rangers are going to win the league. But I like English people sometimes. I think English people make me laugh quite a lot. Past 5 or 6 years, English people have really started making me laugh. They started saying a really funny thing. In the past 5 or 6 years, English people have started complaining about living in a divided country. Did I not say that right? That is hysterical. It's so difficult living in such a divided country. Do you know what you guys did? Everywhere? Do you know how many whatever the fuckistans there are? You went round the world drawing random lines through everyone else's country, and you have one referendum. You're like, this is tricky. This is tricky.
Oh man, I love to smoke joints, but I've had to quit it for the sake of my job because my memory was getting so bad I had to Google the phrase double bike because I no longer knew the word for tandem. I've been smoking heavily for like a year, and I was like, all that stuff about memories is just government conspiracy theories. And then I went to say the name of I've been going out with the same person for 8 years, so I know his name, right? His name's Connor. I went to say his name and I thought, is this cunt even called Connor? Who knows? Just act confident. See, when I was growing up, whenever I saw Scottish comedy on telly, it seemed to rely on slagging off Scotland, and it was a kind of shtick that was like, oh, aren't we all just fat, illiterate bastards eating chips out a bin? That's what it was, right? I don't like slagging off Scotland. I'm not comfortable with it, apart from one crucial thing, and that is the world of Scottish amateur pornography. Which I made the terrible mistake of watching. This is a real category of porn. I'm not making it up for the show. Don't watch it. But a lot of you are drinking. You easy. He's cheersing. He's seen it. Scottish porn's the most depressing porn I've ever seen. Comes a close second to Russian porn, and at least in that they're skinny, but it's in that bleak, we did this for a piece of bread kind of way. I've watched literally every Scottish porn on the internet for the purposes of this show. Some of the clips, you're like, how can I even tell these people are Scottish? There's not much dialogue. Let me tell you, I knew. With a depressing inevitability, I knew more on people. Because it was just pale, hairy white bellies smashing against each other in close up like water balloons filled with yoghurt. Every few seconds, a wee voice off camera would go, oh, aye. Or memorably, tug on my pubes, Rona! I clicked on this Pornhub clip. It said, Scottish girl fucked in London. When I put it on, literally just footage of me paying £1,000 a month to live in a basement. And I watch like amateur stuff rather than slickly shot professional stuff because it's more ethical. That's what a hipster am. It's more ethical. What they lack in muscle tone or symmetrical facial features, they make up for with a large degree of enthusiasm. You know what I mean? I can see who watches it, yeah. I've had to stop watching it and go back to the professional stuff. I'll tell you why. Firstly, can't control the soundtracks in people's homemade sex tapes. I had to turn off someone's amateur porno because they were playing the song Everybody's Changing by Keane in the background. Oh, which will come first, climax or me killing myself? Here's another thing. I don't judge any of you if you want to make a sex tape, but for the love of God, would you lock up the pets beforehand? You know the number of times I've just sadly closed my laptop during a porno? Because there's been a couple pumping away in the foreground, really happy, really oblivious to just the sight of their proud cat sauntering in the background. Meow! This is my time to shine! I put one on the other day. It had a couple were just dry humping American college amateurs, and in the background there was just a sad little Yorkshire Terrier. Dogs are pure innocence and goodness, just looking at them like, please take me a walk. I watch lesbian porn, mostly because straight porn is largely made for straight men, so it'll have these blowjob scenes that go on for 10 to 15 to 20 minutes. Well, why don't I just watch someone file a tax return?
I don't know what it is about old people getting scammed. They just get scammed. Constantly. For some reason, when they fucking get that call, hello, hello, this is the president of the world. Oh, hello, Mr. President. Thank you for calling me. I'll send my credit card immediately. I must. Thank you. You ever been hacked? Ever been hacked and sent everyone you know and love porn? Ever done that? My auntie, Janice, she got a porn from me. She got porn leaked. She thinks I sent it to her. She thinks I sent that to her.
Triple X porn, fuck now! Oh, Damien sent an email. It's unbelievable. Can't believe. She thinks I sent that to her. We can't talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, I can't bring it up. I can't double down and pretend I sent it on purpose. Sculpt her and go, hey, what's up, Janice? Fucking, you see that video I sent you or what? It's off the hook. Oh, yeah, she got rammed, yeah. She thinks I sent that to her. I know she saw it too. She fucking acts weird now. She's like, hello. She won't look at me. Hello. Hello, Damien. Good to see you. Hello. Hello. Fucking, I can see the gangbang. I can fucking see it in the eyes. That's a very unique humiliation to our time. That's a very unique humiliation to think that I sent that. Do you know how hard it would be to get that humiliated before the internet? Someone would have to dress up as you and pretend fully to be you and go door to door to your closest friends and family, like, hello, Grandma? Yeah, sure is. It's Grandma, it's your grandson, Damien Power. Oh, Damien, what are you doing here? A college slut's looking to fuck. What? What are you talking about? Ray-Bans 50% off. Grandma. There's MILFs in your area, Grandma. There's MILFs. No, the MILFs are back. It's... I like MILFs in your area because it implies they migrate.
This mechanic, he kept saying the word roughly, right? He's like, it's roughly quite a big job. It's roughly going to take 1 to 2 days. Like, he kept saying the word roughly, and he got so in the habit of saying it that he started saying it when he was asking for my details. He was like, roughly, what's your phone number? I'm like, if you want a ballpark, it's about $500 million.
My son hates reading. Reading's boring, is what I tell him. I want to read. I try. I can never take in the words. I think I'm dyslexic, but I'm scared to get tested in case I'm not. I could never concentrate at school. I used to get kicked out of class all the time. I got suspended from school. I got caught smoking weed. 14 years of age. Me think me be a ganja man. Ganja man, skin up some fat reefer. Ganja man go house party. Ganja man spark up, take huge talk like he be Bob Marley. Ganja man pull a whitey and think he gonna die. Ganja man be rushed to high and he. Ganja man crying like a little baby. Ganja man given mug of hot chocolate by staff nurse. Ganja man grounded for 3 weeks. At home he become masturbation man. Nearly end up in hospital again with his new friend Henry the Hoover.
Because everybody thinks they know what they're in for with OCD. They're like, oh, you're sad because you can't stop washing your hands. Wrong. Every time I get an Uber, my mind is like, you should kiss the driver. Why don't you lean forward and tenderly kiss the Uber driver? Why don't you search his mouth like an anteater? I don't think I want to do that, yeah. Hey, I've got a bright idea. Why don't you flick your lit cigarette into that busker's guitar case? Yeah, I could do, yeah.
And I have to say, and I don't really know how to reveal this, but I've got a few kids, they're all fucking boring. I know, none of them drink, none of them take drugs. Where have I gone wrong? And I think what's happened is they've rebelled. You know, kids rebel against their parents' culture. That's all right if your parents are conservative, straight and boring. They've rebelled against my having it large culture. Yeah. So you know at Christmas when you get a bit of cocaine in, right? Even if I haven't had any throughout the year, get a little bit at Christmas. It's like a family tradition now. Get a bit of bootros in, as we call it, bootros Garley Charlie. So at Christmas, my kids come round, they're all grown up, they bring their kids, I'm the granddad. I have to go into the bathroom of my own fucking house to do my Charlie in secret. But last year, even I thought I might be getting a bit too old for this shit. I looked down, I was actually chopping up my Charlie with my senior citizens rail card. I know. You see how boring my kids are? One of my daughters, she's fantastic. You know, I don't know, you have ideas, you have hopes and dreams for your kids, and they don't always see them through. I wanted her to be in a band, or be a sort of punk poet, or run a left-wing bookshop. She's in digital fucking marketing. But this is how boring she is. She phoned me up, this was during lockdown actually, so she was a bit younger. She brought up the subject of drugs. And she went, Dad, I went, yeah. She went, you know cocaine? I went, of course I do, my darling. Why do you think you've always lived in rented accommodation? And she said, what's it like? I went, what do you mean? What's it like? She went, when you take it, how does it make you feel? I went, no, I know what what's it like means. What I don't understand is why someone in their 20s is asking someone in their 60s what cocaine's like. I've got to tell you, my darling, you've turned out to be a real fucking disappointment.
But we hate that fly. Remember the fly? Because it's just hovering over the cupcake, making it all disgusting. It does nothing, it's unemployed. Love the bee, though. Yeah? Because it's out there, pollinating jacarandas. Fly in, fly out. FIFO. It's a fly in high-vis. Now, if flies started cleaning up dog shit as opposed to hovering over it, we'd start respecting them and it'd be illegal to spray them. The only difference between animal cruelty and pest control is the work ethic of the insect. And you know the insect known as the wasp? I'm not talking about white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. I'll be explaining the subtext as we go along. I'm talking about the insect. It's got all the unemployment of the fly and all the violence of the bee, just in the worst corporate merger of all time. A wasp is like that construction worker that's been sacked, but they're still hanging around. Just, yeah, I used to work for Rio Tinto. But you think of all these creatures. You think of the bee. They've got a hive. That's nice. Bit of community. Even the wasp, as debauched a creature as it is, still has a nest. More of a share house turned into a meth lab vibe, but nonetheless, a community. Then you look at the fly, no headquarters. Freelancing, they're sole traders. Air tasker, doing tasks in the air. There's a piece of dog shit on Kent Street. Get to it, boys. They're all just knocking each other out of the way. There's no camaraderie. And if they die in transit, no one investigates. Like a Deliveroo. But yeah, so that's... But it's weird.
Well, one thing they have done quite well, right, nerds, is that they started making podcasts. But, you know, people said to me, you should listen to podcasts. And podcasts, to me, are just really unhygienic former encouragement award recipients in pairs, delivering an unsolicited frame-by-frame analysis of a fucking movie made specifically for children. Every week, forever. And that's necessary. But people said to me, you could learn a lot from podcasts, mate. You should listen to them. I started listening to them, right, because I listen. And I started listening to crime ones. And who doesn't love crime? What a boon that's been for all of us. Can you imagine a world without murders to solve? What an absolute bore. I, for one, wouldn't want to live there. But they said you can learn some stuff, mate. Listen to podcasts. So I started listening to crime ones, and I learned one thing. Notice that the police, even more incompetent than I first thought. Unbelievable. And don't get me wrong, I quite like the fuzz, right? One time, a tree fell down across our street. They turned up, directed traffic around it, did a pretty good job. You know? Sometimes they got on horses and just plough through a throng of people to remind us to continue to behave ourselves. Who here hasn't walked out the front of a footy stadium and felt the squelch of a Clydesdale turd right up the side of their sandal? But I feel safe now. Knowing that if things turn south, I might earn myself a taxpayer-funded kick in the face from a half-ton animal. So, one thing they have done very well too, I don't want to rip into the pigs, I quite like them. They've pretty much gotten rid of drink driving in about a generation and a half. It's been a lot of hard work and they've done a very good job of this. But there are still a few men out there living the dream. I know some, and every drink driving story I've ever heard, it always starts with, look, I shouldn't have done that. And it ends with, man, if only I'd done this one little thing differently, the bastards wouldn't have caught me. I should have just stuck to the back streets like I usually do. I pulled out on the main road. The bacon was set up right there, the pricks. What are they doing anyway? Why aren't they out there catching the real crooks? Instead of hassling a good bloke like me, just going about his business, committing a crime. And all of these blokes, they've got a theory on how to sober up in a hurry. Everyone's got one of these. They're all bullshit. None of them work. I've got to tell you. It's all like, oh, you know what you should do, mate? You should have a 5-minute nap, a 10-minute shower, bloody run around the car 4 times. Bloody drink 7 litres of water, get a punch in the face from your best mate in between each litre. Yeah. Do 12 push-ups. But it's bullshit. None of them work. In my experience, the only thing that will sober you up in a very big hurry is to just run over someone on your way home from the pub. Yeah. Oh. If you're not awake after that, you may never be. So, the other thing I quite like about the cops, right, is their complete lack of shame and embarrassment in asking for help to solve a crime. From the very same public who pay their fucking wages. And on a personal level, I don't mind this. I can't tell you how many times a squad car full of the filth had turned up at my work and said, what is that, mate? Is that 4 pallets of bricks that you've got to carry up 10 flights of stairs? No problem. Get out, fellas. Let's muck in and help this guy out. And at the end of the day, I say, thanks, lads. That was really nice of you. In return, I'll just keep my ear to the ground around the neighbourhood and give you a tingle if something pops up. This is what happened to me in terms of the cops, right? I was embroiled in a street brawl, and it was a big one. It was one of those ones where later on, onlookers get referred to as witnesses. It was huge. The street got shut off, made the news, everything. It was a massive fight. There was heaps of fights breaking out, spot fights all over. The particular localised melee I was involved in ended up, there's like 2-on-2s, few 1-on-1 fights. The one I was in, it ended up being 1 versus 6. And I like to say I gave a good account of myself, but then there were 6 of us, so... A little tip from the top. If you're involved in a street fight and there's a man walking towards you and he does that spit through his teeth, he's a fucking good fighter. You don't learn to do that until you cracked a few skulls. It was also one of those fights where improvised weapons were being used, which is a disturbing trend that's only begun since the nanny state took all our guns. I saw a guy sliding a tin of spaghetti into a sock. That's what we've been reduced to in terms of street weaponry. It's embarrassing on a world scale. Anyway, the fight kicked off. It was a massive fight. And the boys in blue turned up. You know, 4 of them at first, heaps later on. But the first 4 who rolled up, they were all walking abreast along the footpath towards the fight. And 2 of them were chewing gum, and one of them had a neck tat. They look like a modern-day slips cordon that I'm supposed to respect. And the 4th one, he was fat. And, you know, I don't care. Follow your dreams. It's nothing to do. It's fine. I'm all for equal employment opportunities. I'm not a fascist. In fact, I'm a campaigner. I'm not going to rest until everyone with a lisp has a job on the radio. And all firemen are wheelchair bound. Or fire women, don't panic. Women can be disabled now too if they want. But this was like a fat, like not a bit overweight. He's a proper fat cop, but that's, you know, whatever. But this is something I'll be teaching my kids, right? When you're running away from the cops, right, you know, normal one, skinny one, just straight line, fast as you can. Get ready to do a little sidestep. Some of them can be shifty when they go in for the tackle. When there's a fat cop around, though, they're not even going to give chase. They're going straight to plan B, sitting on the hip there, just pointing in the general direction of noise and kablam. See what happens, sort that out with some paperwork later on. So when there's a fat cop around, kids, just be prepared to do some zigzag running. You're going to look like a silly Billy. But it's better to be a silly Billy and alive than one of those corpses about whom people say there lies a man who never compromised his dignity around obese law enforcement. So this fight, right, it was just winding down. It was just coming to the end of it, and I was getting shoveled in the back of a paddy wagon by some of these goons. And one of them, right, he had his elbow on the back of my neck. He was about half my age. He was putting me in the van. He said, "Mate, we're going to take you down the station. We're going to charge you with common assault. You should take a long, hard look at yourself." So should I, young fella? Maybe you should take a long, hard look at yourself, because I've just bitten a man's nose off. And then I punched him out of his shoes. And you've got the audacity to call that common. So they're all right at this sort of stuff, right? Your entry-level policing. But when it comes, from listening to podcasts, when it comes to solving a murder, the pigs are fucking useless. They cannot do the job. There must be a lot of retired policemen up there in Queensland, the retirement location of choice for all inept policemen. Just sitting there on the Sunshine Coast, just dragging the drinks trolley over to their cane lounger, thinking, oh shit, I hope I die before all the unturned stones of my shit career get catalogued for the whole world to see in a podcast. And all that sunshine and beer, that does nothing for a man's memory. The rapid onset of dementia is staggering when a tenacious podcaster knocks on the door. The number one leading cause of dementia in old men is, of course, being accused of some pervert shit from 40 years ago. They can't remember a fucking thing once that got us. And while I'm down here too, I don't want to rip into dementia. I'm not sinking the slipper in there, that's fine. Like, it's one of those things, dementia, that we'll all have to deal with at one stage of our lives. Someone we know will have it, or we will, whatever. But what no one's saying about dementia is how much of a handy evolutionary tool it is just to prevent old men from going out and settling all their long-standing vendettas. And can you imagine a world where all the men remembered every single shit thing that had been done to them throughout the course of their lives? It'd be absolute carnage when they reach a point where nothing else matters. There'd be so much, hey, Dale, just put a bag of lime and a shovel in the boot. Just off to knock off all three of our sons-in-law. I hate their guts. None of them are good enough for our girls. And while I'm at it, I'm going to rub out that bloke who put 13 items through on the 12 and under aisle 25 years ago. I still remember that. Paid with a cheque. Really pissed me off. Where are the car keys? What was I talking about? I better just go and watch some telly. Dementia saves a lot of lives. Take it easy on them. So when I'm listening to podcasts, right, okay, it gets to a point where the crime ones, they'll say, oh, the family, they were desperate after a year. They didn't know what else to do, so they turned to a psychic for help. And I listen to that and think, what? What were you thinking, man? You've waited a year for that. What a kick in the teeth that is to the science of clairvoyance. Everybody knows the moment somebody goes missing, you look at the horoscopes from that day and work backwards from there. It's almost as if these husbands and stepsons don't want the crime solved in the first place. But that's how crimes are getting solved now. It's pretty much by podcasters more than the police. Someone I know got murdered, right, not by me. And I didn't even call the police. I just found my nearest dork and just yanked him out from underneath his Darth Vader doona, which are incidentally now available in King single for your larger single man. I just bought him a new computer and a microphone, told him to stop hitting himself and start a podcast and fucking sort it out. And that's how the filth, they're just sitting down at the station listening to podcasts hoping a clue pops up. We're supposed to respect them.
I realised that not all avocados are the same. You don't know till you know. Like, you know, when you buy avocados, it's top of mind the whole time. Like, if you've got avocados at home, you're thinking about it right now. Any other fruit and veg, you don't give a shit. The kids will go, the potatoes look weird, put it in the bin. Who gives a shit? The avocado, you will sift through the green bits with it. Oh, we can save that. Save that. You have half a teaspoon of avocado, go, we can still make the guacamole. Just need 14 kilograms of tomatoes. But you know the lifespan where that avocado is, because it's almost like days of our lives with the avocado. Because when you're ready for the avocado, it's not ready for you. And when it's ready for you, you're not home. The avocado will usually give you roughly 10 seconds from when it's ripe to when it's ruined. Right? Let avocado go, hey, I'm ready, 10, 9, 8, I lied, I'm rotten. But you don't know how much you know about something till you see what other people know about stuff. Like, I really got into TikTok in a very big way, right? In a big way, like 8 hours a day. And I don't have a job. So then, and I don't work out. I just freeze up a lot of your day. And I saw that I was doing avocados wrong. But I used to just have the basic approach to avocado, like someone born in the 70s, right? You cut it open, you whip it up, take the pip out, take a spoon, another spoon, there's your avocado. But then I saw on TikTok people do it different. They peel the avocado, then they take a knife and they slice it like that, then they put it on a plate and they... And now there's little slices that you can put on a cracker with some cheese and shit, and it's real fancy. And I'm like, I'm going to be a fancy one too. So I got some of those avocados and I peeled them. And my avocados didn't look like their avocados, because my avocados had black spots all over them. And then I thought, uh-oh, my avocados are diseased. But they weren't diseased at all, were they? No, my avocados had fingerprints on them. It was my community would go out to the supermarket and squeeze the shit out of all of the avocados to see if they're ripe or not. So all those black spots are fingerprints. That avocado has been fingered so much. If that was a human being, you wouldn't marry it. Yeah, I just slut-shamed an avocado. I don't give a shit. I just thought, I'm not going to deal with it anymore. The change starts with us. You've heard Oprah say it. Now I'm saying it to you. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to start doing some volunteer work at my local supermarket. Out of the goodness of my own heart, I would go to the supermarket and I would take one of those little trolleys so I can move quickly, right? And I would just patrol the produce section. I tell you, if you want to learn things about people, like people go, I love going to the mall, I love to just people watch. Go to the produce section. Your mind will be blown. You cannot believe the people who live in your community. So I take the trolley and I parade up and down that produce section and I just watch people. And if I see anyone squeeze an avocado, I follow them. And I will be patient. We can be 4, 5 aisles down. And if there's anyone, like, they go to get some olive oil, I'll sneak up to their trolley and I squeeze the shit out of everything in their trolley. I'll even snap the spaghetti in half. Yeah, I'm an animal. For the next 2 weeks, every time they use anything, I want them to go, this is ruined too. We're never going back to that supermarket. Like, good bitch, go somewhere else. Go ruin shit somewhere else. It's fascinating watching people in the produce section. Do you know how many people sniff fruit? Especially pineapples. What are you, like one of those glucose dogs that the diabetics use? What the fuck is happening with you? No. No, and it doesn't matter what they sniff or squeeze, it's always the third one that's going in the trolley. No, go! Those are the same people who will knock on a melon. Have you seen these people? Have you seen these animals? The best is they wait for a response. I just want to sneak up behind them and go, help me.
I had a kid come up to me at work. He said to me, he was like, Lewis, when were you born? Which is a polite way of saying, when are you going to die? I said, 1995. And his eyes lit up. He got like the biggest look of excitement came over his face. He was like, oh. And this is truly what he said. He was like, oh my God. You must remember. You would have been around for. You would have been around for. You would remember the screaming goat. And I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking about, man? And then he explained it to me, and when he explained it to me, I actually did remember. Some of you obviously remember. The screaming goat was one of the first viral YouTube videos, one of the first videos on YouTube to go massively viral. All it was a video of a goat standing in a paddock, and it just went, ah, ah. That's a perfect rendition, by the way. Google it tonight, you'll be like, fuck, he nailed that fucking screaming, ah, ah. You might remember this chapter in the saga. Some genius took the audio of the screaming goat and clipped it into a Taylor Swift song. So it was like, I knew you were trouble when you walked in. Now I'm lying on the cold, hard ground. Ah! Ah! And to this kid, that's a monumental moment in human history. He was so intrigued. He actually said, he was like, what was it like when it dropped? It was crazy, man. I wasn't gonna lie to him. I mean, we all remember it was fucking hectic, wasn't it? It was intense. It was actually dangerous. It got out of hand. Everyone just running through the streets. Do you remember that day? Oh my God. Ah, ah! Pandemonium. People lying in the middle of the road reenacting it. Now I'm lying on the cold hard ground. Ha ha! I've actually lived through some pretty significant shit, mate. Major historical moments, you know? I saw heaps of shit. I saw the double rainbow dude. I saw succulent meal or whatever. I remember when Charlie bit the other one on the finger. I've seen heaps of shit. Genuinely though, I actually have, you know. I remember Corey Worthington's party. I remember when Hot Dogs turkey slapped that woman on Big Brother. To me, it feels like just yesterday that guy on A Current Affair was like, rah, 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 rah. That's my screaming goat, man. That guy was barking like a dog on TV before the screaming goat was a glint in the algorithm's eye, brother. I got a bit sad about it. I went home that night. I was like, as if that's what this kid wants to know about. Of all the historical moments that I've been alive for, that's what he's fascinated in. It made me misanthropic. I was like, that's a sad thing. And then I thought to myself, you know what? Maybe I'm not giving it enough credit. Let's check, you know? Maybe it's better than I remember. Maybe I've misremembered it. So I Googled it. It's exactly the same. It's more exactly the same than I thought it could be, the screaming goat. And then I got a bit obsessed. I don't know if you do this sometimes. Like, I got into a bit of a rabbit hole. I wanted to find out who posted it for some reason. I was like, who posted the original screaming goat clip? You know, it went so viral. Who uploaded it? Found out it was a kid in Europe, right? Teenager in Europe. He posted the video. But then I found out it's not even a real video. This blew my mind. This kid, right, just mucking around. He took a video that already existed of a goat, right? That was already online. And then he just downloaded it, muted the audio, and then he got one of his mates or something to go, ah, ah. He re-uploaded that, and then everyone in the whole world was like, how funny is this goat? And at the time, all these animal experts, vets and scientists went online and said to everyone, hey everyone, just so you know, that's not a goat making that noise. Goats can't make that noise. It's definitely not a goat. And everyone in the whole world just went, fuck off, it is a goat. We want it to be a goat, so it is a goat. And now we all think of it as a goat. I started thinking, maybe this was a more impactful moment than I gave it credit for. We live in a world now where truth doesn't matter as much as it used to. Reality, facts, these things matter less and less. Politicians lie openly, they don't even pretend like they're not lying. Countries commit war crimes, people are like, that's a war crime. They're like, we didn't do it. But there's footage of you doing it. Yeah, well, we still didn't do it. Maybe the screaming goat was the birth of the post-truth era. That was the moment, as a society, we decided it doesn't matter if it's real, it doesn't matter if it's a goat or not, fact or fiction, truth or reality or not, it doesn't matter. That Taylor Swift remix, that's like the anthem of misinformation. This is what I realised. So I went back into school the next day, I went straight up to that kid. I was like, mate, I'm so sorry I laughed at you. You're absolutely right. that was a pivotal cultural moment, and I said to him, I said, fucking well done you for noticing that. And he was like, he's quite young, he was like, oh my God, you just swore. And I was like, no, I didn't. And he was like, you did, I heard you. And I was like, well, you're being anti-Semitic. Because if all else fails, you know.
There is someone who I'm trying to emulate, by the way. It's not just like doom and gloom. I have like a hero who has a good time, who I'm trying to follow and learn from. I heard about him from a friend of mine. He's like my cool friend. He goes all around the world going to techno concerts? Recitals, techno recitals. I don't know anything about that. I read big books about the Second World War with different guys. So he goes all to the techno recitals, and he was telling me about a techno venue in Berlin called Berghain, right? Now, Berghain, it's like a 5-story former industrial site, originally very much a sort of gay BDSM techno club, and they've expanded their remit to almost any BDSM. And you can queue up and stuff, but you can't like pay to skip the queue or pay to get in. It's very exclusive in a way money can't buy. It's very trendy, very discerning. Obviously outside there's a guy dressed as a tramp. Oh, I wish I was being fisted by a Hungarian man. Anything to enhance the fun inside. And when you go inside, it's like amazing techno DJs and like people like having sex and doing drugs. It's like the apocalypse in there. And he's telling me all about it, and I've got nothing. Oh, it sounds like Sicily 43. I got nothing. And he says there's a guy who's quite well known, and you meet him in the sort of gents' toilet, right? And what he does is you go in there, and he has sort of tied himself up under the big trough in the loo, yeah? And if you go to the loo for a wee, this guy will ask you in English and German very politely if you wouldn't mind, sir, perhaps considering having a wee on him as well, because it's his favourite. And if you say no, he's like, no worries, you have a good night. You know, it's all very civilised, in context. And he is known colloquially as the Piss Goblin. And you can Google him, Piss Goblin Berlin, as I did, seconds after this conversation finished. And I don't know if there's anyone I currently admire more than the Goblin. I really mean it. Even as my friend was describing the Piss Goblin, I was thinking, now here is a guy with no questions left. This guy knows who he is. This guy knows what he wants. Piss. But it's a big deal to know what you want, isn't it, out of life? There's a lot of people in this room who don't know what they want yet. This guy's got it nailed down. He knows what he wants, and he goes and he gets it. Even if you're sitting here and you know what you want, have you got it yet? The Goblin has. The Piss Goblin knows what he wants. He goes and he gets it. Where does he get it? Somewhere he is safe and known and accepted for who he is. There's no one in this room as fulfilled as the Piss Goblin. He's the freest man I know, and he's chained to a urinal. I can't imagine the inner strength it gives him, knowing that all that stuff's just figured out. He's out there now, some regional German civil servant. He's filling in report after report into Autobahn maintenance, you know. His boss is a real dick. Wo sind diese Berichte? Schnell! And he's like, I'm doing them, my God! Oh, roll on, Freitag. Oh. Lieben für das Weekend, recht? Ja.
I still get, when I fly, which is rare these days, I still get the random search, right? Which is obviously drug-related at my age. Now, for example, fairly recently I went to South Africa to do the Cape Town Comedy Festival. Very privileged. Only white acts on. It was absolutely a brilliant experience. Although, I have to say, a little bit tricky for me going to South Africa. And you can laugh at me rather than with me on this one, because I am still boycotting South African products because of apartheid. I bet there's people in there that don't even know what apartheid is. It was that long ago. And I think what it is I'm one of these people that hold on to my political grudges. I think a lot of old people do that. No matter how outdated or unfashionable they become, you're still there, that's who I am, that's what I believe in. And my kids laugh at me, and I get that. But I think what's happened is I've turned into a modern version of my granddad, and I'm sure some of you remember this generation of British boycotters. He refused to buy Japanese stuff because of what happened to our lads during the war. And we laughed at him. But he kept it up till the day he died, which was in the late 1970s, which meant he had fuck all in his house. No fridge, no radio, no television. I doubt he even had the means to know the war had ended, the silly old sod. Then here I am doing exactly the same thing. But you know, when you're white and English, how far back do you go with this stuff? What? Croissants after 1066? You know, I'm not going to IKEA till the Vikings say they're fucking sorry. So I got the random search twice. That's not random, is it? You get it on the way there, you get it on the way back. That's not fucking random. And it's very difficult when you're older. You know, be prepared for this. People on authority, they're all younger than you. You can't even take them seriously. He's pulled me over. I have to go through the process. I've done it so many times. And he looked at me and he went, "Did you know, sir, that it's illegal to bring drugs and firearms into the country?" Who in here doesn't fucking know that, right? I thought, why is he speaking to me like I'm a bit of a fucking imbecile? So I went, "Fucking hell! It's illegal now, is it? This must be the Brexit thing kicking in. I think you should put a sign up for something as important as that. Now you fucked up all me gift ideas." Then he brought out the drug sniffer dog. Now, I've never been sniffed up by a drug sniffer dog in my life, given my previous lifestyle. Comes as a bit of a surprise. So I thought, oh, this is going to be good. And immediately, I looked at the dog and I thought, wow, when I was younger, and maybe got up to a little bit of mischief, I always thought if ever I was going to get nicked by a dog, it'd be a German Shepherd. There's no shame in that, is there? Cocker fucking spaniel. How humiliating would that be to be nicked by your nan's dog, basically? But then I had a brainwave. I thought, hold on a minute. Drug sniffer dog, what a great pet that would make. You'd never lose your drugs ever again. And you'd always know where to buy drugs. Just take your dog for a walk. Although on a sadder note, when they finish their careers and end up in Battersea Dogs Home, you think, well, the other dogs in there treat them like grasses and nonces in the net because they work for the old bill, don't they? Hey, the fucking Rottweilers want to see you later, mate, all right. I was just going to say my drug of choice has changed, but now it's a drug of necessity. Painkillers. I don't know if I'm the only one. Most people I know that are over 50, certainly over 60, are on painkillers now because they're suffering from what my doctor calls, and I've got to tell you, this pisses me off, wear and tear. Wear and tear. It's a bit generic, isn't it? I want something with a Latin name, don't you? I said, can we call it Wearers Terrors? It sounds more serious, isn't it? So I wake up in the morning with me Wearers Terrors, as I'm sure one or two of you do, and I found a cup of coffee, a couple of painkillers, just takes the edge off the day. But it's actually harder to get painkillers than cocaine. What kind of world are we living in? Cocaine, 30 minutes on the phone. Painkillers, they ask you lots of questions before they hand it over, don't they? You wouldn't get a cocaine dealer doing that, would you? Are you on any other medication? Hey? When they do that in chemists now, start going, of course I am. What do you think I am, a fucking lightweight? Do you operate heavy machinery? I went, do I sound like a northerner to you? Yeah, I'm in my lunch break, mate. I've got to get back on the spinning jenny in 5 minutes. I'm from London, we've got fucking computers now. Why are you asking me these questions? And they went, well, here's the thing, so after 3 days of taking these painkillers, you could become addicted. And I thought, who would look at my face and think that bloke needs advice on drugs and firearms? I said, don't worry about me. I must have been part of every youth culture, every drug-related youth culture since the late 1960s. I must have sampled every drug we've all ever heard of. You tell him it's going to be now, then, at my age, after 3 days of taking Nurofen. That's going to be the thing, is it, that finally and eventually pushes me over the fucking edge? Put me wife on the game to feed me habits, sell me blonde kids to Romanian gypsies, yeah. It was all going all right, so they brought that Nurofen Plus out. That's what fucked me right now.
Anyway, what I'm saying is we have to stop thinking like robots. I've thought of a way of saving Earth from robot thinking. I used to have friends, I've still got them actually, friends, good friends, and I didn't agree with them at all. I didn't don't even like them. They'll get guys that come around. My wife still says to me, why is this guy coming around for dinner? You hate this guy. I'm like, I know, but he's my friend. That's how it works. But now it's like, you know, you have to think like a robot. Agree with me or you're wrong. You think the way I think or you're cancelled. So we have to stop thinking like robots, and we all have to think more like my Auntie Betty, who lives right here in this city. All right, she doesn't. I believe she does. No, my Auntie Betty is a very emotionally well person. She's a very emotionally developed, a very emotionally intelligent human being. If she disagrees with something you say, if she thinks you're talking shit, she doesn't try and cancel you. Here's how you know you're talking shit around my Auntie Betty. You say whatever crap you say, and then if she thinks you're talking crap, she'll do this. She'll say, oh, is that right? Well, show us what I know. Then you know you're talking shit. Now, I'm very fond of my Auntie Betty. I'm very close with her still. She's not that much older than me. She's about 16 years older than me. And when I was born, my mum was very sick. She's my mum's youngest sister, so she looked after me when I was a baby. You know, she looked after me when I was very young. It was the 1960s, and she was the first person, actually, that put the idea of a place called America in my head, because she loved American rock and roll, loved it. Her favorite was Little Richard. And I know. She used to sing Tutti Frutti to me as a lullaby. And I was like, Tutti Frutti, oh la Rutti. Go to sleep, you little bastard. Years later, when Little Richard was on my late night show, I was surprised he didn't have a Scottish accent. And he was surprised when I fell asleep during Tutti Frutti. That's stupid. That's stupid. You can't fall asleep during Tutti Frutti. Tutti Frutti, I'm awake. Anyway, about 18 months ago, I was talking to my Auntie Betty. I was in Scotland. I was talking to my Auntie Betty, and some offers were coming in to go on the road and start doing stand-up again around these great United States. She said, are you going out? Are you going out to do a stand-up tour? I said, you know what? I don't think I will, Auntie Betty. She was like, why, Craig? Why? It's always been your dream to appear in this city. She said, you love doing stand-up. Why wouldn't you go out? I said, to be honest, Auntie Betty, it's the young people. It's the young people. I feel like they're waiting on the balls of their feet, waiting for you to say something wrong, anything wrong, and then they're gonna boom, and you're cancelled. That's it. It's over. You're done. And not only are you done now, anything you ever did is done. You're over. You never existed. They're terrible. And she said, oh, no, I don't see it that way at all with the young people. I said, what? She said, no, Craig, the young people today, I see it more like, do you remember that old David Bowie song in the 1970s when he sang, changes? And I was like, no, Auntie Betty, no, not changes. They're fascists. That's what they are. They're just after. They're little kind of they're pitchforks and they're terrifying. They're nasty little Nazis. And then it went quiet, and then she said it. Oh, is that right? Shows what I know. That's when I knew I was talking shit. So I had to rethink my whole worldview about the young people. I had to alter my entire Weltanschauung. You're welcome, one German academic. Finally, a joke for me. Oh, that's cool. was hoping to maybe would be one, at least one German joke, and here we are. It's like, all right, stupid, stop it. German people don't walk like that. At the moment. Although I get a sense some people are stretching and getting ready, though. The word Weltanschauung it's a German word. It means worldview. And I had to change my entire worldview about the young people. So I did. And here's what I think about the young people now. Here's the truth of it. You're right. It's your turn. It's not my turn. You're the youth. I'm old. I had my shot at it. If you guys want to take over and change the way the world works, how society works, how gender works, how music works, how politics works, how everything works, if you want to change it all, do it. You're right. It's your turn. I love you. I love you, my Gen Z and millennial brothers and sisters, and I support you. However, if I accidentally cross over a line that you guys drew 20 minutes ago, and it will be accidental, because I'm listening. I wouldn't be just going, oh, sorry, didn't hear you, ah. If I accidentally cross over that line, or more likely I crossed over that line 20 years ago before you were born, then at that point, I also have to say, with all the love in the world, go fuck yourself. There. That, to me, seems fair.
Look, America was never great, but it was hopeful. There were periods where there was progress being made. There was more, we were trying to be kinder, more inclusive, equal rights for everybody. And I think if America wants to get back to that place, then we need to build a time machine and go back and kill the person responsible for the mess we're in now. And I'll do it. I will do it. And I understand the canon of how this works. Once you use the time machine, then you've altered the space-time continuum and the fabric is ripped and torn and the time machine can't exist anymore, so it stops existing. But I'll do it. I will go back and I will kill Jesus Christ. I'll do it. I'll do it for you. I'll do it for all the kids out there. And I'm not going to go to like when he was 30, because he was kind of ripped, as I understand, Dude was cut and had like a 12-man security detail with him at all times. So I wouldn't go there. And I certainly wouldn't go to when he was first born, the Immaculate Conception, the Virgin Mary. And I think that's a little unseemly to kill a one-day-year-old, but... We really don't know anything about Jesus, though, literally from the day after he was born up until he was like 30 and a half, right? We don't know anything about like teenage Jesus. We know, we don't know anything about 14-year-old, sullen, mopey, covered in acne, hormones raging out of control, just emo Jesus, just, School's a prison, Right, just constantly jerking off, right? Constantly. 14-year-old boys jerk off 7 times a day minimum, all right? And Jesus is no different. And they didn't have Nivea back then. There was no lotion. So 14-year-old Jesus' dick looked like an overcooked hot dog that had been left in the rain for a week and then discovered by a pack of rabid raccoons. But yeah, so, and we all know the story about the, Immaculate Conception, right? That's heartwarming story where God implanted his seed into the Virgin Mary, right? So he could give us his son, right? God took his seed, seed has come. That's what it is, seed has come. So God took his cum and he put it in the Virgin Mary. And here's the thing, he's everyone's God, everyone on the planet. He's everyone's God, so he had to figure out which cum he was gonna put into the Virgin Mary, because he's got literally thousands and thousands of different cums. So he had to go, oh, which cum am I going to put inside the bird? Should it be Indo-Asian or Nordic or Mayan or Aboriginal or Namibian or Incan or Arapaho or... You know what? I'll go with Jew. Jew's my... Yeah, that's good cum. That's good cum. And then God took his cum, and God's way in the heavens. He's all the way in outer space. And he had to take his cum and send it, right, through all the different galaxies and solar systems, and he sent it all the way, but it always had to maintain an eternal temperature of 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, right? Otherwise, the cum would have degraded. And so he had to, like, speed it up and then slow it down, and had to go through different galaxies and solar systems till it got to the Milky Way, and then it found our solar system, avoiding planets and moons and asteroids and space dust, and always, again, maintaining an eternal temperature of 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. They get it to Earth, and they go through all the different atmospheres because God loves atmospheres. So he gave us a whole bunch, and it's got to go through the exosphere and the thermosphere and the mesosphere and the stratosphere and into the troposphere, and then wait for the opportune time for Mary to go like this, and then up it went. And because Mary is a human woman, she went through the 9-month gestation period, and where she grew Jesus, and then God sent the angel Gabriel to Joseph and Mary to explain what was happening, and to say, you have to go to Bethlehem, okay? Either to be counted for the census or to not be counted for the census. It's a little vague, and historians aren't really sure of exactly what, but we need to get you, for the sake of the story, we need to get you to Bethlehem, okay? It's called a writer's device, all right? So we need either for the census or to not be, it doesn't matter. You need to go to Bethlehem, and then, Gabriel went back up the chimney, and then Joseph put Mary on their donkey, Dinkles, that was the name of the donkey. It's in the Bible. Joseph, Mary, and Dinkles the donkey. They went to Bethlehem, and we all know this part of the story. They got to the inn in Bethlehem. The inn, singular. There's only one. They got to the inn, but there's no room at the inn. So they had to sleep in the manger. Now here's a question. 2,023 years ago, what was the difference between a room at the inn and the manger? There's no difference. There's no difference. You're still sleeping on hay next to a goat, They act like it's an Airbnb where the Wi-Fi went out. No, I'm sure that when the innkeeper told Joseph, you'll have to sleep in the manger, it's like, good, some fucking fresh air for once, And so they got to the manger, and they laid down on the hay, and then Mary started going into labor. They started timing her contractions, coming quicker, and she's about to give birth to the Son of God. And there's a little commotion in there. She's gonna give birth. Joseph, it's time. And Jesus is coming, but he's not coming out. He's not, what's happening? Because I can feel it, and he's trying to get out, but he's not coming out. And here's what they leave out of the story. But when God implanted Mary with his cum, he forgot to do something that's really integral to the whole process. He forgot to fuck Mary. So her hymen remained intact. So Jesus is ready to come out, but there's this wall of flesh, and he's like, punching and kicking and screaming and clawing and scratching, and he can't do it, and it's traumatic. I mean, ask any Scientologist what happens in there. It'll scar you for billions of lives. And I mean, it messed him up good. It gave him a messiah complex. And so Mary sussed out what was happening, said, Joseph, hang on, I'm gonna get back on Dinkles, maybe go around triple speed, see if I can knock this little fella out of there. And she did. She tore her hymen, came back, and then she laid down and she laid down and she started to give birth to the Son of God. And then here comes Jesus out of this massive hairy bush. Got a Jewish woman in biblical times, come on, it's a massive hairy bush. And here comes Jesus, and he's covered in placenta, there's a little bit of blood, and there's shit too, because that's also part of the birthing process. When you give birth through the vaginal canal, you lose control of your bowels and your sphincter, and shit comes out, it happens. There's shit, so here comes the Lord and Savior of all mankind, just covered in shit, and they clean them off with some hay and some goat urine, and then... So I would go to Jesus when he was like 4, right? And I would dress appropriately so as not to arouse suspicion. I would bring something to distract the villagers. You know, I'd be like, hey, check this out, it's a Furby. I would take Jesus. Hey, kiddo, come out, I wanna take you down to the river and show you something that's pretty cool. All right, so listen, kiddo. Listen, so this is very important for me to say and very, very important for you to hear. I want you to know this, okay? You are a beautiful person with beautiful ideas. You live your life in a clean, honest way that is all about other people. You're about kindness and generosity, selflessness, love, unconditional love. You're about diversity, equity, and inclusion, all right? And this is not about you, okay? This is about your fans who are gonna take every word you say and willfully, maliciously twist it for their own perverted sense of power. And everything they do is completely antithetical to everything you ever preached and the way you wanted us to live. And they will literally murder millions of people in your name and drive millions of others to suicide in your name.